Hello, friend. Welcome back to Breathe with Brie. Today, I have planned for you a morning or really any time of day hips practice that you can use to open through the hips, get going for your day, maybe build a little bit of heat in the body, and set yourself up for success for any time, really. So, wherever you are, whatever time it is, let's get set up together. If you would like to have a couple of blocks nearby, you can grab those. They might be helpful. Not necessary, just option. And we'll come to lay down on your mat. Okay, so maybe you are keeping your knees bent, especially if it's early in the morning, maybe pretty tough to lay all the way down flat onto your back. So you could heel toe your feet out to the edge of the mat and let your knees drop in through the center. Another option, if you're feeling ready for a bit more intense opening, is you can bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop out to the side. Shoulders down underneath you. Nice slight tuck of the chin for a long spine. Maybe your palms facing up, opening. Maybe they face down if you're looking for a little bit more grounding. And we'll just take the first few moments of this practice to ground down, settle in, knowing that you have carved out this time for yourself and there's nowhere else to be and nothing else to do. Be right here, right now on your mat or in your space, whatever sacred location you've carved out for yourself. Start to deepen your breath. Just finding long, deep inhales and exhales through the nose. And begin to expand that breath into the belly. Inhale from the belly. And exhale from the belly. Just breathing a little bit more into those lower lungs. Let's find two more breaths here. And breathing into those lower lungs, really great to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest system that helps us feel safe and calm. And we spend most of our days breathing shallow breaths into our upper lungs. So starting your day or ending your day or any time of day where you're breathing deeper is a good thing. Take one more big breath together. Inhale. Sigh it out. Just pause for one more moment of stillness. And then if you let your legs, your knees drop out to the side, just nice and gently bringing them in through the center. Maybe knocking the knees in. Little internal rotation of the hips to counteract that external rotation. So bringing the knees together, feet out to the width of your mat. And then we're going to inhale the arms up overhead. Point your toes, so straighten the legs. Get really nice and long and find a big, delicious good morning stretch. Reach behind you, point the toes, get really nice and long. Inhale and exhale. And as you exhale, bring the knees up into the chest. Give yourself a nice little hug, compress, squeeze the knees in, nice and gentle. Maybe a little rock side to side just to loosen up that lower back. And then coming through stillness, interlace your fingers around your right knee and extend your left leg nice and long. So we're finding this half wind relieving shape. So in this shape, we're finding compression through the right hip flexor and extension in the left. And really think about not pulling so much, but guiding that right knee towards the armpit. And you can bend that left knee if having it straight, having your left leg straight is just a little bit too much sensation. Every exhale, just find that gravity helps to guide that knee a little bit more towards the right. And if your left leg is straight, maybe noticing if your left hip is hiking up, you can even place a hand on your left hip, just nice and gently pressing it down and away, guiding the hips away from each other. 2 breaths here. One more breath. And then we'll bring the left hand to the right knee. We're going to guide the knee over to the left. So we're coming into a little twist, just a simple, easy twist. Nothing too intense at this point. And just stopping at the point where your right shoulder begins to lift. You don't want your shoulders to be lifted off the mat. So both shoulders nice and firmly planted. Find your edge, maybe extending that right leg out, right arm rather, out to the side. Maybe your gaze follows. Just finding that twist. Maybe you feel this in your lower back. Maybe you're feeling it in the outside of that right hip. Notice where the sensation is for you. Inhale brings the knee back through center. And as you exhale, take the right hand to the knee and open up to the right. So we're just opening the right knee up to the side, the opposite way. Maybe your ankle lands down. Maybe your left hand extends out to the side. You could bring that left hand to the hip again and press the left hip down just to keep it nice and even, guiding it, helping gravity, not pushing. Inhale brings your knee back through center. And then both knees up into the chest. Give yourself another nice little hug, little rock side to side. And we'll switch over to the other side. Interlace your fingers around your left leg, left knee. Maybe your right foot plants down, keeping that right leg bent. Maybe you extend that right leg all the way down. Again, thinking about guiding that left knee towards the armpit. Both shoulders nice and firmly planted down. Maybe you're helping that right hip stay down, just placing a hand there. You'd be surprised at how effective it is just to have the touch there, just to remind your body to relax, to settle. One more big breath here. Soften where you can. And then we'll take the right hand to the left knee, guiding it over to the right, coming into that simple twist. Just bringing the knee over to the point where you feel like your left shoulder might lift and just pausing there. Maybe you can even tuck that left foot underneath the right knee if you'd like. Left hand could extend. Maybe your gaze follows. Again, notice where you're feeling the sensation. Maybe it's a spinal twist. Maybe you're feeling it in the outside of that left hip. Soften the face. Soften the body. Bring your gaze through center, knee through center. And then bring your left hand to your left knee, open up to the left. Maybe you're grabbing on the inside of that knee, inside of that thigh. Right hand could extend out to the right, and just notice any creaks and cracks. I know that I have a lot of little pops and cracks in my hip on the left side. And also a reminder that we are not symmetrical. So noticing the difference between the two sides. Maybe bring that right hand to the right hip again, just to soften. All right, let's bring that left knee back and through center. Both knees come together. One more big squeeze. And then one hand on each knee. We're just going to Draw big circles with the knees. Slower than you want, nice and big. Just starting to lubricate through that big hip joint, that ball and socket joint. We'll go the other way. I'm just really taking care, especially if you're doing this first thing in the morning. Our bodies are always super stiff. So just taking it easy, letting the body catch up. Come to stillness. Raise your right arm above you, and we're just going to roll over onto the right side. You can use your bicep as a little pillow for your head. And just pausing in this fetal position, this posture of rebirth and renewal, just for a moment. Maybe setting an intention for yourself for your practice. Repeating a mantra. Taking something with you or leaving something behind as we move along. And nice and gently begin to press up into a comfortable seat. And then coming right forward into a tabletop. So landing your hands down, spread your fingertips really nice and wide, shoulders over top of wrists, hips over top of knees. We're just going to inhale to drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, rounding through the spine, really press the mat away. So we're coming through cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, gaze lifts for cow. Exhale, rounding through the spine, tuck the chin, cat. One more of each. And then we'll come back through center. Shifting the weight a little bit into your left knee, lift the right leg up and back. Also thinking about bringing your belly button up into your spine, so engaging through the core a little bit, just starting to wake up some energy in the body. And then we're just going to plant the right toes behind you to the left. Plant the toes down, press back into the heel, opening through the calf, maybe looking over that left shoulder. A little opening on the right side body, right calf. Inhale brings you back through center, lift up that right leg. And slower than you want, bring it forward and plant it in between the hands. So we're here in this low lunge. And just adjusting your feet. It's never really perfect where you land. It just really depends on our anatomy. Some of us have really long femurs. Some of us have really long arm bones that make things a little bit easier. Maybe you need to use some blocks to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. But finding your low lunge. And once you found your shape, sink low into the hips. Okay, think about a little tuck of the tailbone. That's going to make you feel a little bit more sensation along the left hip flexor. And settle. And then come into your half splits. So we're just going to straighten through the front leg. Right toes extending up to the sky. So straight front leg, high up on the back knee. Flex those front toes. And keep those hips nice and even, so the toes should be facing straight up. Inhale to extend a little halfway lift, and exhale to fold forward. Feeling a nice, juicy opening in the back of the leg. And think about bringing your right hip back, left hip forward. And the blocks will really help you keep a nice proud chest. So if you're down here and you're really reaching, the mat is really far away, coming up onto some blocks will really help. Maybe you do have a little bend in that front knee. That's totally fine, so that you can feel supported on the mat. One more big breath. And then rebend through that front knee, come forward, maybe moving the blocks out of the way. We're just going to step back into tabletop. Maybe a couple cat-cows just to get those wiggles out. And then we're going to switch over to the other side. So engaging through the core, bringing that belly button up into your spine, shifting the weight into the right knee, left leg extends behind you. And then drop that right foot to the back, left foot to the back right corner of your mat. Press into the heel, maybe looking over that right shoulder, opening through the left side body. Really press the left hip away. Inhale back through center, left leg lifts, and nice and slow, planting it in between the hands. Find your low lunge. Again, adjusting your feet, your legs, really turning this into your own, knowing that your body, your anatomy, it looks different, it feels different than mine, than anyone else's. So find your shape. Knee over top of your ankle, slight tuck of that pelvis, a little tailbone tuck, not too much, just enough so that you can feel that opening in the front of the right hip flexor. Sink the hips nice and low. And then we're going to straighten through that front leg, finding our half splits. Again, adjusting your feet as you need. Sometimes I have to squeeze my heel forward just a little bit to accommodate this shape so that I can keep my hips high over top of my knees. Inhale to extend and exhale to fold. You feel that nice opening in the back of the leg. Deep breath. Inhale, bending through that front leg again, stepping back into your tabletop. And then we'll tuck the toes, send the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling through the legs, just finding a little bit of movement. Just going to do a little bit of a slow flow, just to bring a little bit of energy into the body here. Opening through the hips and the hamstrings. Inhale the right leg up high to the sky, and then open up into a fire hydrant. So your right knee is facing up towards the sky. You're working to bring your right heel to your glute, and your right shoulder stays facing down towards the earth. So you're not opening up to the side. 2 big circles with the knee in one direction and then the other. Okay, 3-legged dogs, and then the heel high, and then nice and slowly plant your foot in between your hands, drop the back knee, and reach up. Anjayanasana, little monkey lunge. You can keep your left toes tucked or untucked, totally your preference. Sink low into the hips once more, reaching high to the sky. Maybe a little back bend if you're feeling open enough. And then we're going to come into half splits. So we've been here before already. I prefer untucked toes on this one, but again, your preference. This time we're going to flow between those 2 shapes. So inhale, come forward, arms extend high. Maybe a cactus of the arms to open through the chest. Inhale, arms extend high, straighten through the front leg, half splits. 2 more, inhale. Move slow. Exhale to sink, cactus arms. Inhale, reach, half splits. Exhale. 1 more, inhale, bend through that front knee. Reach up, cactus. Arms extend high, come back, half splits. And then we're just going to rebend through that front knee, tuck the back toes, and step back, downward facing dog. Maybe again, another nice pedal through the legs might feel really nice. Drop one heel and then the other. And then we'll move through the other side. Left leg lifts up high this time. Bend through that left knee. Knee rises up towards the sky. Left heel towards the glute. Left armpit down towards the earth. 2 hip circles, big circles with the knee. 2 in one direction, Nice and slow. 2 in the other direction. Three-legged dog. And then bring that left foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee. Rise up for your low lunge. Arms extend high, sink low into the hips. Again, maybe a back bend if you're feeling open. You're probably a little bit more warm now. Just listening to your body. And then we'll come forward into that half splits, straightening through that front leg. And then we'll flow. Inhale through low lunge, cactus, maybe opening through the chest. Inhale, arms extend high, half splits. 2 more. Inhale, cactus, sink low. Arms up, half splits, come forward. Last one, bend through that front knee, reach, 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 cactus, sink low. Inhale, arms extend high, half splits. And then we'll re-bend through that front knee, tuck the back toes, send the left leg back, downward facing dog. Okay, a little pedal through the legs once more. And then we'll drop down into a child's pose, wide leg child's pose. Knees out towards the edge of your mat. Send the hips back onto the heels. Arms extend forward. Deep breath here. And on your next inhale, crawl the fingertips over to the left. We'll come into a little side body stretch. So maybe your palms come next to each other on the mat or on the floor. Maybe your right palm comes on top of your left hand. Breathing into those intercostal muscles on the right side. Continue to send the hips back. Inhale back through center and exhale over to the other side. Again, hands can be next to each other or stacked. Continue to send the hips back onto the heels or towards the heels. And breathe into all those intercostal muscles in between the ribs on the left side body. Inhale brings you back through center. Reach forward, one more big reach in your child's pose. And then we'll press back, come up, and then we'll just come to lay back down onto the mat. One more shape here before we close out this delicious little mini sequence. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat, knees facing up towards the sky, and we'll come into your figure 4. So right ankle cross over left knee. Maybe you stay here, keeping your left hip down with your left hand. Maybe you press the right hip away. One option. Another option, lift the left leg, thread your hands underneath, interlace around that left knee, behind the left knee. And come into your figure 4. So nice flexed right foot. That's going to protect the knee. And again, let gravity do most of the work. Just help guide that left knee towards the body and feel a nice opening on the outside of that right hip. Every exhale, you soften. Maybe a little tuck of the chin for a long spine. Just keep the back of the head firmly planted down. Maybe a roll through that left ankle. Two more breaths. And then release. Left foot down, right foot lands to meet. And then we'll cross over to the other side. Left ankle on right knee. Maybe you bring your right hand to your right hip, keeping it low. Maybe you take your left hand, pressing it away. That's option one. Option two, thread the needle, right hand or hands around the back of the right knee. Left foot nice and flexed. And just with every exhale, just guiding the knee a little bit closer towards you. Keep the tailbone firmly planted. A little tuck of the chin. Feel really heavy in the backside body. Every exhale, find softness. Release that one area of tension that you might be holding. Maybe a little roll through that right ankle rather. One more breath. And nice and gently release. And we'll bring both knees up into the chest here. Give yourself a nice little squeeze. And actually really squeeze. Big compression through the knees into the front of the body. And then inhale the forehead up towards the knees. Curl up into a little ball. Inhale and squeeze. And exhale to release into your final Shavasana. Just taking the last couple moments here to settle, release. Just find stillness and breath before you move on to whatever is next for you. And we'll take two of those big belly breaths again. Inhale from the belly. Sigh it out. One more inhale. And always permission to linger in stillness if you'd like. If you are not ready to move, stay. Otherwise, start to just move the body a little bit. Bend through the legs, plant the feet. Bring your right arm up above you and we'll come into that fetal position once more. Letting your bicep act as a little pillow. And maybe just returning to that mantra, that intention that you said at the beginning of your practice. Knowing that your practice now is complete, you can release it. Maybe take that intention or that mantra with you or leave it. You're just only taking what you need. Nice and gently begin to press up into a comfortable seat. Bring your hands through heart center. Maybe close down the eyes and bow down. Bow down in gratitude. Gratitude for the sacred space that you carved out for yourself today, for the time that you have to do your practice. Gratitude for a body that moves you, and for the ancient practice of yoga that brought us together today. From my heart to yours, thank you so much. Always such a pleasure to share this virtual space with you. And I'm so glad you joined me for this morning hips or any time of day. And I hope that you have a really wonderful rest of your day or week, wherever you are. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.